Did you know that 70% of sewists say they've sewn something and don't end up wearing it due to fitting issues related to incorrect garment ease? That's right, a lot of fitting issues come from incorrect garment ease. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why it's so important to measure garments in your wardrobe to achieve a great fit, how to measure your garments, and what main measurements to take so that you can determine your own customized ease standards. Why is measuring garments so important in achieving a nice fit? So the process of measuring garments is widely used in the fashion industry. We measure garments to make sure that it's developed to our standards, and we also use those measurements in quality control checks. As a home sewist or indie designer, you can use the same exact process to make sure that the garments you sew are in line with what you like. Measuring garments can drastically help you define your customized ease standards so that you can avoid a lot of fitting issues. In case you're not sure what ease is, I have many other videos including wearing ease, design ease, and negative ease. So I really want to walk you through this process of measuring the main points of measure for a garment. I highly recommend that you download the free calculator worksheet that will walk you through that calculation. We're going to be entering in the garment measurements. You can enter in your body measurements, and the result is the ease amount. Even though I'm going to be measuring a t-shirt, you can apply the same exact logic for blouses, dresses, jackets, blazers, coats, anything of the top portion. All right, let's dive right into measuring that garment. Make sure you've downloaded that free calculator that'll walk you through how to determine the ease amount between your garment and your body measurements. Okay, so I am going to teach you the industry standard way of measuring garments. This is the same method that most clothing companies use to measure garments. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that that garment is lying flat on the table. We want to kind of shake it down, make sure it's nice and smooth, and we're going to start with the bust measurement. So for women's wear, we call it a bust. For men's wear, we call it the chest measurement. Generally, for an industry standard, we would go down about 2 inches, which is about 5 centimeters. So we can go ahead and place a pin at that location. All right, so we're going to go from one edge of the garment all the way over to the other edge of the garment. And generally, when we're measuring garments, we measure on the half in the industry. So we write down half bust and then the measurement. Another way of doing it would be to take that measurement and double it and write down the full bust measurement in case you want to look at the entire circumference. Now, whatever way you try, whether it's the half bust or the total bust, make sure that you enter the appropriate body measurement that either reflects that half measurement or the full circumference measurement. The next measurement we have is the waist measurement. Where do you measure the waist? Well, usually the waist is the most indented part on the garment. It tends to be the smallest width of the garment. So we notice where that indentation takes place, and usually there's a bit of a range in that area, and we can measure in that area. Now you can always measure this location here to the high point shoulder. So this is the waist measurement. That would be my half waist. If I want to take the full circumference, I would just double that measurement. So let's say we wanted to find that location from that high point shoulder area. Can place a pin here and we can measure here. Now this is variable because the high point shoulder is not fully 100% the same on all the garments, but that gives you a rough estimate of where it's at on this garment. That would be high point shoulder to waist. Now let's measure the bottom opening. And we're going to measure all the way along the folded edge there. Whatever that measurement is, you can write that measurement down under half bottom opening or full bottom opening. The next measurement we're going to check is the bicep. Now, on a short sleeve style, it depends on the sleeve length where you need to measure that bicep. Often, if you have a bottom sleeve opening that's so short like this, I would just call that my bicep location. Otherwise, it's about an inch down, which is about 2.5 centimeters. That's the general location of the bicep, and you're measuring all the way across. That's the half bicep or the full entire circumference of the bicep. Now you can use that same method for all different parts of the garment and just continue that process. It's really easy. So this measurement is the front length, and many different garment companies measure from the center front for the front length, and others measure from the high point shoulder area. And I really prefer the high point shoulder area, and actually I even determine my true high point shoulder in another method which I teach in my online course, but this gives you a more or less a close reference here for the length. The reason why I don't like going from the center front is that this is really variable. So if you have a much higher neckline, going from the center front isn't going to really give us that much of a reference point because it's so variable. Let me know if you're going to try this measuring method by liking this video. Another question people often ask me is, what other measurements do I need to take in order to customize my ease standards? Well, the first step would be to start with those main measurements that we just went through. And you can also do it with many types of garments in your collection so that you can layer up the ease amounts. I go through the Mastering Garment Ease topic in detail in my online course, but if you would like to know more about this entire framework, you can watch the free webinar where I give you more tips about mastering garment ease, and you are sure to pick up some tips from there. Go ahead and click the link for the free webinar and register today. I'm Gina Renee, and I absolutely love teaching online pattern making courses so that you can design and create clothes you love that fit. Make sure you've downloaded that free measurement worksheet, and if you haven't already, register for that free Mastering Garment Ease webinar. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.